lahu khair. That a person of Iman, every condition that comes, for him, he makes it the best condition. Every condition that comes, for him, he makes it the best condition. During times of ease, he makes shukr to Allah and he flies to Allah. During times of difficulty, he is patient and he continues flying to Allah. His journey to his Creator doesn't stop. But if that Iman becomes weaker, or if there is no Iman, then in times of ease, a person goes away from Allah. And in times of difficulties, he goes even further from Allah. The whole thing got to do with Iman. Some people feel the exam is only when difficult times come. We explained so many times the bigger exam is when good times come. See, at the moment we have gone through 1 year of difficulty. During these difficult times, many went collapsed. Minds collapsed, hearts collapsed. Fear gripped people. And we're just waiting for this imtihan to come out. But what happens if after the imtihan, such a world comes where we see no problem? The one who got Iman, who made it now, he will make it even further. The one who hasn't got Iman, if difficult times could not remind him of his akhirat, then good times is definitely not going to remind him of his akhirat. Allah Ta'ala speaks about this world got two conditions. Whichever condition you see, you must not become so obsessed with the condition. Your mind has to be onto another condition. Whoever's eye is on his hereafter, the good times of this world becomes even better because he says something better is coming. And when difficult times comes in this world, he manages to walk across it because he says easier times are coming. But the man who got no akhirat in front, when good times come in the world, he grabs on it so much, he doesn't want to let it go. He doesn't want to spend on his sister, on his brother. He feels money came to me, I don't want to let it go. Health, good times came to me, I don't want to let it go. Because he thinks there's no tomorrow. And when difficult times come, he behaves in a manner as though there is no tomorrow. It's finished. Allah Ta'ala says, وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. By the oath of the time of day when everything is bright. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. And then by the oath of the night when everything becomes dark. There is two simple sentences, but what an oath was taken. That you every day see it's bright. And you always know after the day, night has to come. So if we had a bright day before COVID, then COVID was the night. And after every night, another day has to come. At night, no one becomes depressed because he knows the day will come like how the day had come. But the one who doesn't know the night is coming, he lives in the day as though there's no night. So he lives in a happy world, not expecting a difficulty. When he is healthy, he never ever thinks, I can become sick. When that individual goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, we now checked up, you got something called diabetes. For the man who always waited for night, he will say, it's part of life. Old age comes with its old baggage. When a man gets old, my back has to pain. You don't need this disc and this number, and you say, what? You say, it's part of old age. The man who never knew old age is coming. When one white hair comes out, he goes down. The one who was waiting for more white hair, and he sees one white hair, he makes shukr, I'm still young. Allah says to us, during the day, think of the night. And when the night again, in both conditions, ma wadda'aka rabbuka wa ma qala. Remember your Allah. In both conditions, your Allah has not left you. But then the question comes, if my Allah has not left me, then why so much of difficulties in this world? Why can't it be that because I am a believer, I am a Muslim, I read my Yasin during the morning, so during the day I must see no difficulty. I must see no one getting sick in my family. I read Ayatul Kursi last night. I blew on my finger, I made my circles. I said, today Allah will not make any difficulty come in my house. I did my job. But after a few days, I see my wife getting sick, my daughter getting sick. Then I say, what's happening? Why is it? Ma wadda'aka, night coming doesn't mean Allah has left. Night coming doesn't mean Allah has become angry. So why does night come? One easy example which we are giving recently because of this condition of COVID and how many people are viewing the world. When a king understands that his son, the prince, one day has to sit on the throne, the king says to his beloved son, for you to become a king, that your every desire gets fulfilled and everyone loves you and everyone runs for you. For you to become a king, you have to be ready to separate from the palace for a few years. Because if your father, the king, dies, and a prince just sits on the throne, but he never learned, he never worked, he never walked with people, he never talked with people, what kind of king? It's like a person who's a boss in the shop. All the people who are around, they love him. Why they love the boss? Because the boss once upon a time also worked. He also picked up heavy boxes. So when he sees his worker picking up a heavy box, he feels little, but he says, let me help you. But the boss's son, if the boss never ever teach his son how to pick up boxes, he will never know what it is called a heavy box. He'll see his worker carrying the box, he'll say, only one box, put another box. He'll never think of helping because he never saw difficulty. He'll never think Ramadan is coming, that man is also thirsty because he never saw thirst. So the king says, for you to become a king, I need you to suffer a little. When you will suffer, you'll understand what it is to suffer. When you will carry, you'll know what it is to carry. When you will go through difficulty, you will understand difficulty. So the son says, I'm ready. Then the father will say, but to teach you how to be a king, meaning you'll have to work first. I can't do it in the palace. Because if your mother, the queen, sees you caring, if she sees you perspiring, if she sees you bleeding, if she sees you fighting in battle, your mother, the queen, will scream, my beloved son, and she'll pull you out. He says, for you to become a real king, you will have to go to another country. In that country, no one will know you are king. No one must know you are prince. Only you must know. When you will be in that country, they'll make you work like the normal person works. You will be milking the cow. You will be getting water from the well. You will be taking it up the hill, bringing it down the hill. You will see problems and problems and problems. He says, oh my son, as you are going through the problems, everyone will make you more fit to become a king. When the prince goes to that country, he sits with many other people who also got problems. No one likes this world. Everyone complains in the world. You might think the rich man doesn't complain. He got more complaints than the poor man. You might think the rich auntie, she got no complaints. She got so many servants, workers, what she must complain? She got more complaints than everyone in the world. In this world, everyone is complaining, except the prince. When he is in that other country, whenever there's a difficulty, he is also taking water from the well. They also drawing water from the well. They taking it up the mountain, he's taking it up the mountain. Sometimes the bucket breaks, all that water is wasted. They sway and they say, what is this life? But he's quiet. Sometimes they sit on the ground and they're eating that dry bread. Each one of them will look at that bread and throw it on the ground. And they'll say how unfair life is. But he will take a bite of the bread and smile. Why? When they will look at him smiling, this is ajaban li amril mu'min. Amazing in the condition of a believer. They will ask him, how can you smile when your bread is dry? How can you smile when it's life? So he will look at a mountain in the distance. They'll tell him, you're always looking at that mountain. What's on that mountain? He says, one day, over that mountain, the messenger of my father is going to come. I'm going to see him coming with his horse. When I see the dust coming over that mountain, It's a message from my father, oh the prince, now it's time to become the king. He will say to all of them, this is not life. My life is on the other side of the mountain. I got a kingdom there. But to become the king, my father just wanted me for a few days to carry some buckets. I'm carrying the buckets to become me and you in this world. We were put in as princes to become the kings of tomorrow. But to be the king of tomorrow, you will have to be ready to make shukr on the dry bread of today. If you have to lift up, we will lift up. If you have to see life, we will smile and we will see life. If we have to see death, we will also smile and see death. Something in front of us happens which makes us difficult. We will look at the mountain in the distance and we will say, I am waiting from the messenger of my Allah to come over the mountain. When the angel of death will come with his call, I won't become scared and say, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. I am the prince waiting to go. Every day I look at that mountain and I say, the world comes with enough difficulties. The night after night is day after day is night. Ma wadda'aka rabbuka. But if the prince is suffering, it doesn't mean the king is angry. The king knows everything happening with the prince. He sent his ministers to make sure my son is okay. The ministers say to the king, we saw him today perspiring. As the king becomes sad, the king smiles. He says when he was having that dry bread, what did he say? The minister says, king becomes happy. He says, that is the prince. He says when he was carrying that bucket, what was he saying? Was he swearing his father? Or was he smiling? And he will say, this is part of life. They will say he smiled. He says, that's the prince. Allah Ta'ala put us in the world with the princes. Around us He put angels. When conditions are good, Allah asks the angel, what did my servant say? These are bad. When there's a death in the family, Allah also asks the angels, what did my servant say? The one who says, Inna lillah, meaning Allah, I am still happy with you. Almighty Allah says, already built His palace. This is the king of the time. We are princes in this world. We are not like everyone else in the world. When everyone will complain, we will not complain. When day will come, we will be happy in the day, but we won't forget a better day is coming. And when night comes, we will not go in depression, because we'll know after every night comes day, and after day comes a better day. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Almighty Allah says, remember, your Allah has not become angry with you. But you have to see different stages in life. And remember, the year after Akhirat is much better for you than this world. In this world, you can get how many roses you want, but everyone will come with a thorn. You can get the most prettiest girl in the world that you wanted, but she comes with age. If you married her at a sweet 18, after 10 years, she's going to be not so sweet. And she's going to be now 28. 10 years later, she's going to be even less sweet. A time might come, you'll have to sweeten her with your own made-up sugar. As she gets older, she'll get her moods. If you thought that girl was... But that man who said, you only part of this world. You are not the queen and I'm not the king. I'm the prince, you the princess. We are going to be king and queen there. That man will always smile. He won't look for the best. When his father says to him, we're going on a samosa run, we're going to see a girl, this might be your wife. He will not go looking for the hur of Jannah, because he'll know she's there, she's not here. He will see a girl that's okay. She doesn't look so bad. She's a little interesting, a little attractive. He won't go look at the phone and he says, types on celebrity in Hollywood and he says, Mommy, I want this girl. He will say, this girl for me is in another world. They don't come in this world. But the one who hasn't got a tomorrow, they will die to make today everything. Today cannot become everything. One who's not a prince. Depression comes to the one who's not a prince. Anger comes to the one who's not a prince. Tired of this world comes to the one who's not a prince. And for the one who's a prince, his eye looks at the mountain. And whenever someone says, what are you looking at? Messenger of my Allah to come. As death comes over the mountain, he does not become scared, he becomes happy. As his train is moving towards his destination, with the turn of every wheel, he doesn't see my destruction is coming, he sees my kingdom is coming. For me and you, our greater day, the messenger of my Allah comes over the mountain. It must come that the king is happy. And while we are here, we only got one job then, to make that king happy. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Remember, that world is much better than this world. Here you got a fruit, it will come with a worm. There you got fruits with no worms. Here you got a woman with her moods. There you got women, many, with no moods. Here you got a small 5-10 days of enjoyment. And then sickness and old age will come. There you got enjoyment that will never end. Why are we not looking there? وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. Look at the beauty of Quran. وَلَسَوْفَ, and very soon, يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ, your Allah is going to give you so much, فَتَرْضَى, that we promise will make you happy. وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. Soon your Allah will give you so much. We promise you'll be happy. This one verse of Quran, one surah, must take away everyone's sadness. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. By the oath of day and by the oath of night, it's part of life. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Your Allah has not left you. Your Allah is not angry with you. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ. But the year after for you is much better than this world. وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ. And we promise very soon, we will give you that you will become happy. We wait for that world. May Allah Tabarak Ta'ala make me and all of you. We are the princes of today, and we are meant to be the kings of tomorrow. Don't look for kingship in this world. We will lose our kingdom of the next world. Be a prince and be a happy prince. Wait for the messenger of my Malik, of my Allah. When he comes over the mountain, happily embrace and say, oh death, I was waiting for you for so long. Is my master happy? And he must say, come back to an Allah. Radiyatam mardiya. May Allah Tabarak Ta'ala be happy with all of us. May Allah make us the princes and the princesses of today, the kings and the queens of tomorrow. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.